Hogwarts Legacy, game review, and first impressions. Warning label, trigger warning, and about comments. I am addressing this here and now before we continue with this review of Hogwarts Legacy. The Harry Potter franchise, as of late, has been under fire due to the writer and creator of the Potterverse, J.K. Rowling. I, like many others, do not agree with Rowling's belief nor views on the topics that do harm the trans community. I welcome those that are trans, non-binary, and a part of the LGBTQIA+ community with open arms, and I am not perfect. I am a human being just like the rest, and I grew up with Harry Potter. My mom is a huge Harry Potter fan. She, like with many of her generation, are having to learn from their children or grandchildren the new ways of our world in terms of the many genders that exist and trying to navigate without upsetting anyone. Sadly, it hasn't been easy. Just because someone is gay, lesbian, non-binary, demisexual, what have you, doesn't mean they're not a human being, nor a person who doesn't deserve love. Everyone deserves to be loved, and no one should be discriminated against for who they are as a person. End of discussion.
In light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. A lot to absorb on your first day.
Can't believe I'm here.
Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum.
You have much to learn.
You have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you.
A surprised opponent is a weak opponent.
They will test your abilities, both innate and learned.
You've done it! I am wary of how much time the new fifth year seems to be spending away from the castle.
No need for theatrics. I'm only here for this one anyway.
What do they want with a Hogwarts student?
I have a rare ability to see whispers of ancient magic.
Extraordinary.
It's a powerful magic that should only be wielded by a select few.
The path we're on is terribly dangerous. But I do not know where it leads.
I'm afraid you're on your own. I've ensured that we have a moment to ourselves.
Let's even her odds, shall we?
We leave our legacy in your hands.
This game has been on my radar since I had seen it was going to be a full-blown game, similar to how the old school Harry Potter games were, playing as a main character, solving problems, and puzzles using magic in the wizarding world. Now, to be fair, I never really played those games, as it was mostly me watching my brother play or my mom. However, the teasers we got for this game was amazing to see and to find out when this took place and how we were going to interact with the wizarding world, and that we were finally going to live out our 11-year-old selves. Somewhat. We start out the game receiving our letter from Hogwarts, but not as a first year. Here, we begin late into Hogwarts as a fifth year. It's very unheard of, and you'll discover more about that later in the game. Eventually, you'll get to create your character, and yes, you can create a trans character and identify as a witch or wizard. If you take the Pottermore Quiz beforehand, you can link it to your game account and be sorted into your correct house that you are through the quiz. If you don't, that's not a big deal. You can still choose whichever house you want to be in, even if you did take the Pottermore Quiz too. Sadly, that seems to be the only thing that transfers from the quiz to the game. If you want your exact wand, you'll have to visit the site to put the right size, wood, and core in. I have yet to see a Patronus spell cast, but if they have that option, you may also have to enter that manually too. Still have yet to complete the game, so I don't actually know if that's actually in the game. This game has so much that you can do. Even though it is a single player, it is open world where you can explore anything and everything, including the 3 unforgivable curses. I will warn you beforehand, this game has no morality compass. People you come across will mention things you might have done, but you won't be punished for it, which is kind of odd for a game that takes place before the Fantastic Beasts series, as well as Harry Potter. But I guess it also makes sense because this is the past that we're experiencing that has already came and gone and became a footnote in those series. Maybe it'll be explored later in other things, whatever those things become. Who knows? Without having a morality compass, you have a good potential of seeing how much destruction or good you can possibly do, which is pretty much endless. I personally haven't completed the game yet, like I said, but I normally do what feels right within that moment for my first playthrough, and then I switch it up on my next playthrough, or playthroughs. With morality not being a problem, what else could you explore in this game? What would you get to experience? Well, as said before, there are a ton of things you can explore. There are puzzles, loot caves, animals to rescue, broom flying, the main story, and a ton of side quests. There are so many things that playing on the normal difficulty, you could probably finish this game without ever dying or having to start over. If you want a challenge, however, especially for your first playthrough, I'd recommend playing on the hardest difficulty. I have, and Lord, has it been a challenging quest. You have to think more and plan out how you'd get around obstacles, especially if you're running on the Wiggle Ward potions. Those are healing potions in the game, if you don't know. I have literally used everything in my arsenal just to survive, and when it wasn't enough, I'd end up having to come back when I was a little higher in level, just to stand a chance, which is not a bad thing. Doing things on a harder difficulty allowed me to really push myself outside my boundaries and really think of how I'm going to survive this onslaught. Challenging yourself and figuring out your playstyle is a part of the experience on playing games similar to this, and it helps leave memorable and lasting impressions in your memory, and that's what I am here for, living for the experience. I get so giddy when I do things for the first time, and I'm excited just to be experiencing a world I grew up with through all of its wonder and magic. It makes my inner child just so much more happy and excited for more. Future Vamp here. I wanted to let you guys know that this video is a overall review, not like picking at the details. I will be a little bit more specific in future game reviews like this, where they're a bit more specific than a well-rounded experience, similar to like how my Forspoken review was, where I kind of picked at a few things here and there. It'll be a little bit more specific, so apologies if this isn't like exactly how my previous game reviews are, but this is a well-rounded, well-balanced version of game review and first impressions. My first impressions of this game is that it's everything and more than what I could have ever imagined in a Harry Potter game. This game has you ready and wanting to explore every crevice, from this tiniest interaction to the biggest oh fuck situation. You get to be who you want and more within this wonderful world that keeps your inner child yearning for more. The devs did absolutely amazing in this game and pushed for so much more of our expectations, but pushed it to 11. I honestly don't think anyone could have done better. Sure, there's more that could have been added to elevate it even higher. However, this lets you dip your toe into everything and gives you a very well-rounded experience that everyone should experience at least once in the Harry Potter universe. My final thoughts over this game. If you're into Harry Potter or you want to experience the magic you grew up with, I definitely give this a try. The game is well worth the money and you can have multiple playthroughs through each of the different houses. And with no morality compass, you can be as evil or as good as you want, with no consequences. There are plenty of magic type games out there, but they aren't the Hogwarts experience you've been waiting for and wanted as a kid. Try it. Don't try it. That's totally your decision. I'm happy with this and excited to play and explore more into the other houses to see what quests may be different. J.K. Rowling may have made the franchise, but I can separate the creator from their franchise. Thank you, dev team, for making this game inclusive and worth the experience you gave us. If you want to see more gameplay videos where I play as my mom through Hogwarts Legacy, when the video is available, you can click here, or if you want to see other game reviews that I've done in the past, you can check this playlist here. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to stay batty. Bye.